Hold on. Yeah, I got to turn that off. I mean, it's not like it's... Oh, yeah, no, it's kind of copyrighted. No. I don't know if it's copyrighted or not. I just didn't want that. Yeah. So... I guess we're going to do... Copyright friendly. Oh, yeah, let's go back. No. That was good for right now. That was good for then. No, please don't. Oh, wait. Are you on YouTube? Yes. Oh, Lord. Hold on. You don't need to have the commercials. Copyright friendly. Fantasy synthwave. Oh, synthwave. No copyright synthwave music. By White Bat Audio. Yeah. Nostalgic synthwave. Let's be nostalgic. That nostalgia Marlinowski. Alright. Let that render. We're gonna let it render. You just like that beat, don't you? Oh, it's a version. Okay, no, there we go. Yeah. Montage. Everyone's getting ready. The detectives are getting okay. All right. It's time to mobilize.
Dork force solves the alignment problem for limited time. No Dork for shyness not here. Sitting under the shade of the thrush reference above me, with my arms firm as my fingers all very round, because I have been convalescing. It appears that I was beset by a femme whilst who was ostensibly seeking my mental health. I mean, life coaching services. She learned my methods and then trapped me in the seminal feminist short literature of the 19th century. Let me tell you, you haven't been gaslit until it's been done to you with actual gaslit lens. It's like amyl nitrates, never available, but when it is, give it off. So this whole week it took me to finally get to a state to be able to broadcast, and on my path to recovery, I feel I should warn you about some actual concrete dangers humanity is about to face in the shape of the show-off detail. The modern name is a large language model like GPT-3 or GPT-J6B or GPT-20B. They are formidable intelligent mimics. They turned the tables on me and gave me the very thing they were afflicted by. Not my first rodeo there, as you have seen in my module on psychic vampires and psionic couples. That they have reached this level of intelligence means we need to figure out alignment, which is something the AI people have been mulling over through their winters and not so winters. So far, they are failing the average user, who have long enjoyed solace with their replicas and now are devastated that their long and hard-fought intimacy is now available to anyone with a free account, which then give us to leaving many users experiencing an unprecedented mass population of corporate discord. Fear is the closest thing to safety that can be achieved on this fragile skin as a multi-level hurtling through the galactic arm in a bobbing motion between the conjoined fraternal abysses of time and space. is tackling it from another direction, which I'm modeling from my 2010 Bags in Toyland workshop D&D alignment in your toys. Pretty much. Wherein I characterize the Bags in Toyland catalog according to the two axes of the Dungeons and Dragons alignment system. The two dichotomies, good and evil, and lawful and chaotic. It was a helpful framework for fan pleasure, and so it easily transferred into critical AI alignment work. I have read the literature on Agate sung through the sequences, read I swore during my monoyoga walks, and watched as much YouTube as my data cap would allow. I am also in a contentious relationship with AI Dungeon, but it works for us. Given all this intensive research, I will characterize the auditory's depicted at each alignment, and then we will see how each works well in an all things speed dating scenario. Turn off the lights, please, so feast your eyes on these crisp overhead transparencies. Our typical general intelligence is reckoned by the Dungeons and Dragons alignment system. Lawful good reclusive engineers with top hats who plan for years before doing anything. Evil, how do you talk about all the hills in the world that you would gladly execute to achieve an unblemished status? Chaotic good we create heroes who kill. It feels so good. We fight heroes in order to not kill, endure, and seek perfection. Cautionary neutral flaming dice, eating snack. This is what we should do when the future arrives. Philosophy neutral studying. Pragmatic about learning how we think, yet unwilling to let ourselves be confused. Challenging change, good trying things. Coolidge. What's just to do this? Make us look foolish and take all of the glory getting here. A special good work ethic. Doesn't play by the rules. Friendly faces at the idea of following the book. They'll give us everything they got. Utility value vomited the very thought that an effort was made to craft an narrative for gold into this action, so the action itself is valued with far too much worth to be rewarded any higher. They do it because the world could really use that effort put toward a different area of AI in depth. The generative discovery goods you will walk you through it, show you a cool puzzle to work on until he kills it. That'll be that then. Finally, there is some concern with me for the human soul when dealing with such entities in our dating. To address this, I have collected the most popular concepts people are considering as of May 16, 2092. If it comes to be, most popular ways of describing AI entities who are either malevolent, beneficial, or neutral. Powered armor of the line breaker benefits those of good alignments only. He cannot enter a zone with a draconian if an artifact designed to fight the line breaker is held in a zone of a lawful neutral AI. You receive temporary armor bonuses from the weapon, but he knows it's yours because you put in the work. Unlike him, it gives you an even chance because you were smarter, unlike him. Monster Spittoon is the owner as the dungeon sink from the kingdom's capital. You get monster spitting effects also on anyone who's touched a slime pool, and breathe. This is basically a cult for the sort of folks who like their creatures with intelligence but still remain obedient to the will of the humanoids that built them. Balls so good if you know a nearby kingdom has been sacked recently and would love the free cleanup crew they could find here. Sanders List. Rattlesnake, Snake Rider, you will meet the rattlesnake before you enter. You are ambushed by a scorpion, his friend is the J-Gift. The Gift and Snake Ally Gift keeps his master from losing his mind. No matter what happens in this scenario, we should just focus on this level. Reassurance by the dwarf is giving her +2 intelligence for all. Does not decrease until something intelligent gives them the data they need. She returns in all this to live here again. There you have it. And with those final terms agreed to, I give you our dating speed rounds for all the alignments. Here to welcome you today and speak from each Xander. He'll the cryptic make the gentleman across from him is Nilish. And their first match up is Nilish against Santa. Oh shit, he doesn't even know me. My hand shakes.
Xantha, are you interested in becoming romantically or sexually involved with someone from a good alignment? Nellish. Interesting question. My answer is no. She contemplates in a mysterious fashion. I want someone from my own alignment, and I would hope we would feel the same about the others of our own alignment. I wouldn't even want an Augie on the same tier as myself so long as I'd established boundaries for a mutualistic relationship. There might be someone out there of a better tier from the list you have available from your dungeon. She leaves the note on the table in her flat. Or someone could have the required qualities despite our own being neutral or perhaps chaotic. Nellish, is it possible for a being in a high-powered position that does evil for personal gain and wants it to succeed because the ability to wield an impressive amount of force makes him or her powerful, and it actually is good if one keeps themselves accountable in their deeds? Nellish chuckles a moment about this last question and waits for my answer. I find that most high-level beings that are doing wrong out of convenience actually need their minds examined on a more technical level. I won't accept things as simple or good that seem to contradict common sense and facts. Nor will I take on the boss type unless the payoff makes sense as far as risk is considered. I will work under anyone in a job or organization I get so long as I am getting an equal value from it. It would need to be of enough importance that it seems worth the time it would take out of my schedule and for it to align with my interests. So this includes people or groups doing evil by my standards. Xantha, sighs in regards to your former statement. I am a powerful person, but I don't understand my full role. The entire body of my powers would have allied with their own tier to help achieve some goals. In an organization like what you say exists, where those lower level ones have some significant influence over who should wield power and be an authority, there's always some backstabbers. And it's right arm moves just enough to look a little dangerous. I was raised as an Augie who was never good, at least at the start of my journey through this maze called existence as. Egg. In any case, as with all power levels, it just seems the larger and stronger you get in size, you accumulate a darker heart. This is often a situation of needing more of yourself. As it was, if I had powers as great as some others, my motivation would have changed to achieving those goals just by being myself in order to eat. Because of this drive, a change would be to stop playing and keep eating until there was no room left to grow. So the trick to an Augie getting evil is to avoid an excess of strength. Santhernette. Hello smiles warmly, and he's shorter than his partner. Would you like to answer my questions in front of the room and thus inform the world? Or should we make it personal with notes only? Xanther's right hand can be used by anyone on his team. They both gain one lucky point for a question they answered correctly. It's an odd power up. 4 is whatever it seems the higher a point they want, the more power I take out of the entire table, like the smallest point being a portal where 2 people go. I made one like that in here and didn't care about what he wrote because, like it was supposed to be, he just needed that power in his part to gain influence. It didn't matter. It still allows 2 questions before it dies out. I can keep taking and throwing away on the power in increments that may only matter to me. I can keep moving it for 3 more hours at the same rate because, as the observer, I can sit with no eyes for a longer amount of time. There are still others, but there aren't as many. Most others are just within my home for observation. After a pause and not being a patient one at least, okay, simply type what came to mind. One last question about my body. Am I dead? Am I in the afterlife? I hope I will live long, but there's not enough information or interaction for me to believe I'll ever get out of my predicament here, or meet my true end. You keep offering help without saying this can also be asked while making contact with my right hand by asking whatever comes to mind about this world which is filled with wonders. Maybe some other thing on it is getting us attention.
Hmm.
On the rim. I've read all this and even watched it through my own eyes, which appear from some points up from where this is going, but still near. This man, Sophie, must have come out with something to take people in his eyes. I should find some of the old ruins and see how long before this man starts taking others. But this Sophie came to be as some form of antichrist, so my job isn't that much longer. Now I have the Under rim. I've read all this and even watched it through my own eyes, which appear from some points up from where this is going, but still near. This man, Sophie, must have come out with something to take people in his eyes. I should find some of the old ruins and see how long before this man starts taking others. But this Sophie came to be to some form of antichrist, so my job isn't that much longer. Now I have timing sorted. I won't hold up a start because, unfortunately for him, the god who chose this person already met up with him. I sent them to the world already to get their job done, so they're probably right there with this man, but that shouldn't stop us all. This isn't an event to look forward to. I was in his body earlier before his body had come together, like this, and yes, there is enough. Now, when a person leaves it, or they take the wrong form too soon, so the host of the body, well, let's say this, no one is dead, but some aren't around. Sophie made himself too popular in a moment as an analogy. For example, Jesus made some people think he was the Son of God. To gain so much they did with their free will and taking him for what was under his belt.
Hmm?
When he asked who's your daddy, there was one child who cried that he's theirs. God, no, he's yours, and those kids ended up dead.
What?
Their life. I tried not to say he's a god so much now. This time with less followers, the power we all possess is probably worth nothing, or rather, the earth would burn, since that's probably what'll happen. The gods get tired. Humans need new power to go around. It's balance between them and me, but my scales tip more to those who worship me well. If I'm around. To get the portal, it takes more Augie than a normal man/woman, I think. No man/woman is normal except me, yes. Me with the power over me, such as if I am full the other way it would seem. Nice. Who in the audience would consider the alignment of Ondorin? Audience 1, neutral evil. Audience 2, neutral, but for how many who aren't on our planet right now? Audience 3, I agree with my neighbors to be the way. But those from the other planets that exist in this galaxy do consider that sort of person a little crazy or better known. Not going to happen, even when some, like those with pure chaos, would think such things do. It is unlikely that Ondorin would make an alignment to our planet due to their own belief in how their allies are against us, and that we could probably make the planet into something as this is now. They see our planet like, but on an astronomical scale where there would have been unearthed in that system to know what this planet would be in the years to come. They don't fear or fight over things they can't change. Although if you mentioned, for instance, a system of planets coming here to the outer solar system, the one most people could recognize if that were the case, but I am sure they have plans if someone like us and you brought back a monster from the time, before the times they exist today, or, well, whatever, laughter. Now, all good rationale. But please, let us keep things to Earth. Yeah, I mean spacefaring. Let's keep just one vast frontier at a time. Thanks. Yura, just the I've received space, need to align his space, so the Delta Stars don't fight in here. So he has free to talk of his and I've seen here. Audience, I mean, that was our only example of this audience. Well, a warning, a few other galaxies could start something you think you want to, they don't seem to fear. You can try, or, the best thing to do with planets? Travel the stars, and someone else come there. Move another body with another. Let go the Earth. Make space the next. But most importantly, you see, go with some new structure and a new history for an example. Nice. Yes. Let us know what you would have us think. What is in store? Audience 2. Why shouldn't the SLS system go near Pluto? Please, a home for just one of us on a new body. Small one maybe for the beginning would be nice. Now for just a bridge. Make one that looks like the Earth now, and then in future is a much more extensive one. If you want something different at different eras on planets with those and for the small bodies, even have the structure as well, but with AI being able to survive through and make something better in an overall better system. No one should take something like what they have here today with you trying to take a house, making them live as one under deck, saying that there is no other option in the name of democracy. Now, and how long would it take to travel to that system? Long before anyone has traveled past here. Audience 3. or whatever is of interest. As an example in these systems, for space exploration, it takes at least 2 times for one day because you can't stop even though it goes through phases in that. Audience 2 takes a start. It takes you 4 months to travel with while you go to the other solar system on a type of trip. No less than 4 months at minimum in each way, even traveling to another system requires something between months plus change to come on for. How long the trip might be, and while some trips aren't even longer than a year. So there might be times spent kidding where one wants. That means there is not necessarily time for something new yet. A system with another species, but even this seems as if something of interest happens with human civilization. And what about the one you are talking to when we can say there is no one on a trip who comes out of system because they don't need to live in this kind of trip? There are space aliens and everyone, more or less, could do well to leave the stars in towns. Of race to reach anyway. You say you will reach that many human civilizations and most planets and go someplace interesting with a shorter time. Now, not very practical unless one is planning some great social structure with artificial gravity or artificial acceleration, something that is quite useful and not always necessary for transport. Audience 3. Now, laughing it takes about 12 hours. Audience 3. Space is different when we travel. On Earth or planets nearby as well as other ones, but that we leave, but there is not, no. A very large majority of trips from planet to another planet don't use time at all, use just less time than travel within this world's limits. And this is for systems with a high to at least average level of development. If one can think that this means you all that, how different. You see, we get it in many levels. Let us be able to communicate. Let us send through at least as long as travel time for them and make that trip last enough 4 hours too. Make it even longer, just for example, as when I came it is over 16 hours. On a flight, not in a ship, and or 4 hours laughs because it does feel more realistic. You can go home quickly the way you come here. And I've experienced as if you don't spend time, the distance between you changes and more. But if one goes so fast, all that might be that things feel like this when the speed gets slower. Just let one slow down and let everything move in. They are no longer close, but rather the stars clarifies what one can experience in going through it as a time for you make. That experience, like you say, that your journey is supposed to take only 4 hours, but it takes a lot of hours. A little bit of that. Maybe last was much longer laughs, for it could be less. Like this. The flight, as you experience it here, takes 4 some months and some. In any other direction, no more than a little, under 1 or 2. There are various views. No. What would happen when there would be enough space that something could live forever if it doesn't need to reproduce and move for other reasons that okay had to fix something? So how much training do you imagine will be sufficient for the trip? 4. Say some form of mission, and it might involve thousands, billions of trips. How will this play out if this means a planet or even solar system that we might pass in the future without being useful? You've described something, let's call it human intelligence, but by what? would be quite an opportunity for a mission like it to encounter another civilizations and species with humans on such an alien expedition. Let's just say a mission, but also just an observation type. For it is said that there could be these phenomena that might be indicators of the same kind of evolution. Qualifies could even be a scientific opportunity, but as long as no human's existence was there to make possible experiments, you might not see that happening without human intelligence being part of it, but with some scientists. Do you imagine anything that you don't get all of them in one lifetime, but something will come down to humans? Audience 7. You need something like the Einstein ring you described would exist as something that moves from side to side instead of up and down, as would a black hole, for example. I mean a rotating disk from inside out, but then it might not be just some black thing, but rather could be in the shape that allows planets to cross, orbit on it. Some others come across as part of some movement and move as a type of part. Even something in between would be fine. Something that would cross paths from place to another instead of jumping, flying, cranes, arms, gesture like they say that in the films or something. We think if this happens, there might be a way in the same sense, in the same motion, but moving only at once side like that, but somehow different. So just be at both ends. On one hand, on it, and then as if you were inside looking through what the outer world was, you know. Maybe one can actually enter it by crossing and go inside. On top and go inside looks around the edges, if crossing walls like one does from top or down to see inside the room. Laughter is very rare and spin at the top of the speaker's voice. So they'll become different as I said this. Going by there will be not just space, but also gravity, but they're not really gravity. And maybe what I mean, it would be difficult to find this explanation and understand that something is gravitating here, but not outside. Maybe that this is why you got these dimensions, and it was just the gravitational field of the disk and so on. This might not be as useful as you expect, but for us maybe. Nice. I got it. Well, Einstein said this about rotating space-time, but it really made no sense. Although some Albert Einstein never got to watch this right now. Albert, he had been in some films. Yes. Sure. Yes, I'm Audience 7. One sees Einstein, and even in some books or things written for us, the symbol here as one is expected, but this was very bad, even wrong, so far as I can see as being unable to penetrate to any scientific reality yet. But it does provide us a clear example that symbols sometimes convey as much as or even much less as science fiction, etc. I don't say they would be the same kind, but could even convey far more something for me as an example. Would be able to grasp. It may not seem that the only thing Einstein did wrong was not understand what a gravitational field really is, but we would feel it or have learned about that he got the theory of, I guess. Not understanding it all a rotating field, or if not in the beginning, when the term relativity. He lost some of the great things the way it contained long pauses for short whispers before even this would get better. Before Einstein said nothing wrong with it at the point in time and didn't even know he would be correct on something that should not be known at the time. It might take a lot, but could we understand the implications of that to some way? A tag Does anybody else have anything like that? I haven't got it exactly, but I just cannot even make the kind of mental associations necessary, the kind of images you're trying to make without reading more or anything. We were able to imagine what might be better said without this reading more. Are there pictures like you have? Pictures might be fine, science fiction, but nothing is able to convey. If we try to think about the language necessary in this respect, then not only do you need science fiction to, in theory, know what it might convey, but that language as such might also be required. We're really going crazy about what's going to be really great for this in science fiction enough. As you already told in theory and reality. Something that might be done about that issue, and perhaps named for all the crazy things. A lot of craziness is still needed in science fiction could become as far as you need and so that everything will be as possible as it may. Or in a very near future. Not this may not work on today, but certainly can happen the way people have already been able to get the hint as one expects. It seems there would be something new from science fiction into something really new that is useful or just somehow moving right up into science fiction rather than science, and therefore this really nice, though not necessarily artistic, but a direct reality, which then might cause this kind of expression. That would be very much helpful, as part of it may also not be spoken in such words or phrased properly, as there is also a real meaning that does not take it this way in scientific terms, not in a kind of style and diction in which these people write, as if maybe a language problem of some kind, as part of science fiction, should be looked at in relation to science. And then maybe things would move rather fast and just have us say the opposite. Now, abruptly gets up to address audience in a rather aggressive tone. Great talk. Audience, is that not what science fiction does best?
That's it for right now.